What's going on? What's going on, people? It's Mr. Null back again with the first review show of the Premier League. I hope.
Keep the mask on, mate. Keep the mask on.
Keep the mask on, Des. We prefer it. We prefer that on.
You ready?
Get the mask on, Des. We don't care about your face, Des. Get it back on. What's going on, people? I hope everyone's fitting well. Yeah, it's the first review show of the season. Put it back on, Des. Put it back on. Hope everyone's fitting well. So today's topic, as you know, Forest lost 2-0 at Newcastle yesterday. We get everyone's opinion, everyone's thoughts about how they played yesterday. And if you want to join in, put in the comments below, people. Get involved and have your say about yesterday's game. There's loads of topics as well that we'll talk about later on the show, but the first bit is about Knott's counter. Newcastle, first thing I want to talk about is, I know people, I apologise again. I've had a long day. First thing I'm trying to do, if you can, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and comment below, people, how was your feelings about yesterday's game? Right, we'll get the panel in. As everyone knows, the guy next to me, it's just nonsense, ridiculous. Des, put it back. Des, put your mask. People in the comment, do you prefer Des to put his mask back on? Because he's got a mug face anyway. Do daily. How you feeling, Des?
I'm good. Do you know, it was a tough one to take yesterday, wasn't it? Do you know, it was a baptism of fire, which I'm sure we'll come on to talk about. But no, feeling good. It's just brilliant to be Premier League, isn't it? Let's keep the positivity going and enjoying the weekend. Exactly.
Next up, we've got the Welsh wizard, the man himself, Stephen. How you doing, Stephen?
Yeah, I'm all good.
Good.
Holding well.
And last but not least, we've got the man himself, Mr. Dylan Astle, the bus driver. How you doing, Dylan?
All right, thanks. Thanks for telling people my occupation.
I had to be everyone. The problem is, the reason I said Dylan the bus driver, because I get on the bus and everyone says, "Do you know Dylan?" This is why I said it, Dylan the bus driver. So yeah, it is what it is. Right, so people are going to get the comments. How was your thoughts about yesterday's game? Right, let me start with Des. Like Des, me and Des went to the game. If no one saw my vlog as well, make sure after this podcast you watch it. Des, yesterday's game. What's your thoughts?
Like I said before, it was a baptism of fire, wasn't it? It was tough. It was really, really, really tough. It was a hard watch as a Forest fan. That first half, we used to be in the team that springs out on the counter attack, plays with pace. But we were penned in, weren't we? We were penned right back by a really, really good midfield. You know, I'm not sure they were brilliant all over the pitch. But Newcastle, Bruno in midfield, what a player he is.
Unbelievable.
You know, and since they put Joe Linton back in there, Saint-Maximin, we know what he can do. I didn't think he was fantastic on the day. He gave the ball away quite a lot. In reality, it's probably what stops him going to a big club. But him and Willock, I thought Willock was brilliant. I thought he was absolutely brilliant in linking that up. So and then of course Wilson did what all good goal scorers do and poachers well. So we come up against a really, really tough side, big stadium. You know, I've been there before. I wasn't quite expecting that. You know, we was away in the Gods, 52,000 people.
Nosebleeds. Was in the nosebleeds. That's where we was.
And in reality, you know, they've had top 4 form since January.
I know. I think they lost 2, didn't they? Lost 2.
Lost 2 again.
Lost 2.
And what I come away thinking was, wow, if they're mid-table Premier League this year, we've got a problem. But you know, I think they will be top 10 based on what I saw yesterday. They've shored up at the back. You know, they've got some big guys back there. I noticed that. Got some big units. You know, all summer I've been talking about the likes of Sanderberg and players like that. You know, because of the units they've got. They bought that guy they signed for 35 million off the bench with about a minute to go, didn't they?
Sam Botman as well.
So, but all in all, I thought Forest, you know, for as much as it was tough, you know, we showed some resilience. You know, we got through 60 minutes, an hour of football. Yes, we were under the cost. So it was easy to come away and be a bit negative, a little bit dejected, thinking this is going to be a long old season. But they got through 60 minutes. They had one or two moments within that. And, it took a worldie to break us down, didn't it? It took an absolute worldie. I looked on Match of the Day. There was a bit of criticism about Anderson. No goalkeeper saving that. One, you don't expect him to shoot. And two, I'm not bothered about his position. You just ain't saving that. And then the second one, what a finish that was.
Yes.
So whilst, yes, I take nothing away from Newcastle, they dominated it. Forest struggled, to keep up with the pace. I think the big pitch, I don't know whether it's because we was in the gods, it looked even bigger. They dominated all over the field. The pitch looked massive, absolutely massive. And trying to get it to the front players was a task. Well, ultimately, both goals, as much as I've just said about a worldie and a world-class finish, they boiled down to a catalogue of mistakes as well, didn't they? Forest playing it in from fullback position. Totally understand playing it about and doing it. It's the modern game. But what I noticed about Newcastle, they never played it infield from a fullback position. Nico Williams plays it infield. He was at fault for the second goal as well. He did something that led to the corner. Can't quite remember. And then when Shaw got it, it was because McKenna had played it infield, played a dodgy pass, and we've said it for the last few weeks, haven't we? If you give the ball away, you ain't picking it up till you're on the penalty, till you're on the centre spot, and that's exactly what happened. McKenna gave that ball away. We probably gave the guy a little bit respect. That had all come from a corner with conceding on the other side. Ball gets cleared, comes to Shaw. McKenna, it come to McKenna. He gave it away. Comes to Shaw. We all backed off. And he sticks it in the top corner. I read a tweet last night. That's what centre-backs do in the Premier League. And I'm like, oh, my God. We don't need this to happen. But no, there was, for my immediate, oh, my God, this is going to be tough. I think there's some positives to take. We were resilient. We didn't have much attacking play, but hopefully with one or two more players. What I will say, Dore, and I'm sure we'll come on to the better players, is the players that played in the Premier League before look like the ones that could actually do something for us. But we'll come on to that later.
100%. Next up, Stephen, like I said, Des basically said something about Newcastle were just too good, two good goals. Let's keep it real. Two good goals, but all around you can just tell they're just a good side. But what was your thoughts, Stephen, just from watching it?
Yeah, I'm a bit deflated, obviously, from the high from going from last season, but keep on telling myself this is the Premier League now. And Des made a really good point there. We just played what we class as a mid-table team. And what we saw earlier through Man City with Haaland, it actually scares me.
Stephen, you had to, Stephen, man. Why have you mentioned Haaland?
And the way Spurs were playing yesterday was unreal. But, we wanted to go up, lads. We got to face it. What I would say is it's one of them. If we had beaten them yesterday and we were, come off the pitch winning, all Forest fans would be like, yes, we're going to walk this league now. So maybe a reality check is not a bad thing sometimes, being up there and being dropped like a stone. Sometimes you've got to realise where you are. Newcastle surprised me how aggressive they were from the back. They were straight on us. If you notice, Johnson had the ball, bang, burn, right on him. Just from the front, back to the front. One of the things I would say, we never had a chance to run at them at the back. Like Des said, they had big lumps at the back. I think if we got behind them, turn players like Burn and players like that, I think we could have got behind, but we just never had a chance. Every second ball, Bruno was picking it up, and then his weight of passing was unreal. And I don't know about you guys, but doesn't it stick out more like when we were watching Premiership games when Forest in the Championship, you just watch it and you're just taking it in. But when you're seeing your team against this level of quality of play and you guys are there watching live, it just stands out. That Bruno player, my old man's a Newcastle fan. He was watching with me and I said, what a player this guy is. His weight of passing, every second ball, picking up every loose ball, spraying it around. But this is the level we got to compete with, and but what I would say, and I was talking to boys on the football earlier, what does give me hope is there's enough teams in this league I think we can fancy ourselves against, like the likes of Southampton haven't started great, Everton. We've got to take points
Aston
off
Villa, Aston Villa as well.
Aston Villa didn't look great. But I'm sure we get on 7 teams later. But yeah, the game yesterday was a bit deflated. What I would say, we showed in the first half one bit of quality with O'Brien, tucked it inside to Lingard, and Shears got across and put a good block in. And the second half, I thought Nico Williams done well to beat his man and crossed that ball in, and Sturridge put his head into the floor and went over the bar. But
I think when I watched the match, after looking at back, I personally thought Big Sam, shout out to Phil, could have done better.
Yeah,
could have done better. But when Williams whipped it in,
yeah,
and you got some giant centre backs in, Shea
and Pope is a big lump as well. Pope is huge.
They're big lumps as well. But
again, Ben, we just, even though the little free kicks we had in that one corner, we just, and that corner has been absolutely slated online for what we did. But if you look at it, the one thing I would say, if that got over the head of Pope, McKenna was back stick on his own.
Yeah.
So it was a thought process behind it, not like people on Twitter saying, "Oh, what a joke this is," and as everything goes, with a thought.
You know what? It was funny, right? Because when we were watching it, right, I was thinking, "What the hell was happening here?"
And on TV, it was like shirt on the screen. It was all black and white.
Stephen, from our angle, it was like, why is everyone back? And then when it was Lingard took it, like, what's going on here? It was mad. It was mad. Dylan, what's your thoughts? Like I said, that midfield, like I said, when we had, is it Colback, O'Brien, Jesse Lingard? I'll talk about Jesse Lingard later on. When you come against them kind of midfielders, like Des mentioned, it's it's going to get worse for us, isn't it? When it comes to it. But a good thing, though, not a bad thing, a good thing.
No, 100%. But people, it's like a lot of things we've seen online in the last 24 hours about some of them. People saying we're no good, we're relegation, we're this. Fulham's won, Bournemouth's won. But you got to look at it realistically. We've got a brand spanking new team, near enough, right? Bournemouth and Fulham have still got a majority of their core players that played last year. So they've got a way of playing, a system of playing. We've basically tried to bring in, was it 6 debutants that played yesterday? Do you know what I mean? It was always going to be tough. It was always going to be tough. And the teams we're coming up against, like a Newcastle are flying now. Do you know what I mean? They've made some good signings. And these teams we're coming up against, they've been in the Premiership for a good number of years. Do you know what I mean? So we're gonna struggle against them, but I can see us. We just need to keep that ball better.
Yeah.
And make them. I got a bit frustrated with some of the passing yesterday. It was just like some passing, and then you're thinking to yourself, why they made that pass? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously you were watching from TV, so it's different to seeing what's on the pitch. But it just some moments of the passing for me was just a bit sloppy, like they were nervous on the ball.
That's what I personally and
they look a bit soft.
It's weird. Like I said, we're back in the Premier League, and I said you know what, Stephen just mentioned it. Like when you got players like I don't know, Jack Colback coming back we used to play for Newcastle, and O'Brien as well. Like I said, we'll touch on the players later on, but you can just tell. Like when you're watching the game, you can just Newcastle was just way too strong, and like I said, I said at the start of I think I said it last week. We're going to have more downs than ups, and when you see Newcastle, like I said, the way they was playing football, it's just like I think we'll get there.
Definitely. We'll definitely get there.
We'll definitely get there, but let me ask you, Dad. Like I said, I'm going to touch on Jesse Lingard because there's so much pressure on him of us being this top player. He's a great player, Jesse Lingard, but it's his second game. Let's keep it real. It's his second preseason game. I personally think we're not going to see the best of Jesse Lingard to the end of August because he needs to get match fit. But Des, what was your thoughts on Jesse Lingard?
I'm glad you asked me, to be honest, though, because when I touched on earlier about the players I thought played well were basically Henderson, Colback, and whilst not playing brilliant, Lingard did what kind of he does. You know, he got in some good positions. You're not gonna, in that kind of performance, Jesse Lingard is not gonna perform particularly well. Just like Brennan Johnson didn't, just like anybody across the front line didn't. But for me, he stood out as a Premier League footballer. You know, just something. I don't know what it was. There was nothing that made me sort of think he's done that brilliant. He got in that good position where he had a shot that got blocked by Shaw. You know, and one or two things. I felt the break of the ball, the pace of the game kind of beat him a little bit at times. But I didn't think he did too bad. You know, I think it'd be a bit harsh to, because again, like everybody else is, we're all looking for Jesse Lingard to do something special. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we were playing on the edge of our own 6-yard box. Jesse Lingard is not going to be the key factor in that kind of game. And we were in right back in. Honestly, I thought he did okay when he got the opportunity. I thought you could see his Premiership experience. Like I say, Henderson, I thought had a really good game. For me, our man of the match was Colback. You know, getting across about much maligned, and I possibly wrote him off as much as other people have. You know, in those midfield positions. But I just think Lingard, without being spectacular, without doing anything to pull up any trees, you know, in those kind of games, that chance at the end of the first half, when we've been under pressure for 44 minutes or whatever it was, that's the type of chance we want Jesse Lingard to take and go, that's why we signed him, you know, because that's the match-winning chance, isn't it? I'm not saying we would have gone on and won that game, but that's the one where you go, well, he's took one chance in one. And let's make no bones about it, there's going to be some games where it's like that. I thought the Premier League might be a little bit easier.
I personally thought as well, yeah.
You know, facing that yesterday was a bit like a wow. But if it is, you know, Jesse's going to, it'll be okay. We've got West Ham at home. And this is what the league is, isn't it? Next week we could go into that game, you know, the onus on us, the big crowd. West Ham have lost as well. We score an early goal or we take it to them for 10 minutes and the whole game pans out different. And I just think Jesse's still got a huge part to play, but I wouldn't pin too much sort of disappointment on him for what happened yesterday. You know, it didn't quite work out for Brennan. I love Brennan. Absolutely love him to bits. But yesterday, it didn't quite work his way. Surridge
do you think because of like I said, that link up, like I said, I mentioned Jesse Lingard is not fit. But do you think people like Brennan and Big Sam didn't play well? Because I think it was the early stages, Sam Surridge had a
Do you know why I thought they didn't play particularly well, Dore? Is because the midfield in the first half, for me, the defence stood firm, was resilient. The midfield made poor decisions. O'Brien, you know, he took up some fantastic positions. He got the ball down, he looked to play, but he didn't play it. You know, and I'm not having a go at him. You know, all this is relative to the first game of the season, you know, where we're at as a Premier League team. And it's the first time I've actually seen O'Brien play. But he got the ball, he took up some great positions, he got the ball down. He's not playing for Huddersfield anymore either. He dallied on the ball. You know, when he could have perhaps played it to Jesse, you know, he didn't. Just a bit of confidence to zip it around. That's what I noticed. If they'd ever had a bit of confidence to zip it around the midfield, you know, at times when we was in the Championship, I'm not saying it was easy because it never was that, but it's slightly easier than what we faced yesterday. It would have been nice if he'd got it into Jesse's feet, let him run. But there was one touch too many. So if he did get the ball away, Jesse had to have another touch. Do you see what I mean? Their midfield was all over us. And that midfield is phenomenal. Let's not make any bones about it. Whether they can withstand it at the back and withstand it at the front, that midfield. So I might be being a little harsh on O'Brien, but I thought the decision making, the fullbacks, like I said, they played it inside for those goals. If they'd have played it up the line, I know that's not necessarily the modern game, but they played it up the line, you don't concede those goals. And yes, we might have to withstand another wave of attack, but again, it's going up towards Brennan. It's going up. I saw some stat about Brennan. He had 16 touches or something like that, But the ball just wasn't getting there, was it? Because the midfield, for me, and the fullbacks, the players bringing them into it, weren't making a confident choice to play it forward. And that's where I think the sort of breakup was. We were so deep, it was hard to link up with the midfield. And then you've got Jesse as number 10, you've got Sam, you've got Brennan up front. It's always going to be hard because the game's so spread. We all know the more compact you make the game, the higher you push it up the pitch, it's going to be easier to play the game. Newcastle played on the edge of their defence played on the edge of the centre circle because it was comfortable for them. It makes it easy then to come out, play it through the midfield, make these little angles, all these things they do, and again, sort of take over the game. And I think that's why Jesse suffered a little bit and the other attacking players. So I wouldn't read too much into that one. The West Ham game, playing on the front foot, hopefully we'll take it to them, play it like a cup tie, like the FA Cup last season, and perhaps we can get something out of that game and see the best of them.
100%.
It showed how naive we were as well. Sorry, just one point.
You was next, Steve. You was next.
Oh, okay. Is our 3 of our back 5 picked up yellow cards within the first 25 minutes? And when you got Almer on and you got St. Maximum running at you in for 60 minutes, I was worried. I thought someone's going to go here. Because Worrell, Niakate, and I think it was Nico Williams picked up yellows. Yeah. So that's naivety as well. Like, we got to learn. I know it's easy for me to say, but I've never played Premiership football. But when you watch it, when you play against these top wingers and they just running at you, it just showed a bit of naivety. I know some of them went down a bit easy, Almiron or whatever, but that's the Premier League now. And when you're going to have 3 of your back 5 on yellow cards, and it doesn't bode well. Then you're playing on the back foot. Then you're just walking on eggshells. You can't put your foot in because you're worried you're going to get sent off.
You know what you mentioned? Right, you mentioned, like I said, and this is a question to ask you, Stephen. Like I said, the defence last night, Joe Worrell, Mangala. I think Mangala played okay. If I'm honest, I know that second goal, he can't do anything about that second goal.
Niakate,
Niakate, and as well with Toffolo, I think Toffolo struggled a bit. I'm not gonna lie, struggled a bit.
I think the thing is with Toffolo, he had Trippier, international, he had Alberon running at him all day. Yeah,
all day.
He had Trippier making him overlap runs, and Bruno just passing down the channels.
Exactly. So the problem is, like I said, everyone's giving Toffolo a stick, but when you got them kind of players running at you, it's going to be a tough game. So, Matthew Dillon, like I said, Des touched on it. Like I said, the class. Like I said, we're going to talk about the players that we're going to be linked with later on. The class, like I said, this Newcastle team, like Bruno Guez, even like I said, Chris, what's his name, Wilson, and even what's his name, the guy. Who's the guy that what's the Dutch guy who plays centre midfield? He was a striker, he's gone to midfield. What's his name?
Brazilian, yes, Joelinton.
Joelinton, like I said, them class player.
No, he was absolutely class. Bruno and Willock and the other guys are getting all the praise. That guy was class. What Steve Bruce thought about playing him up front, is beyond me, because that guy was phenomenal.
It's man. Dylan, we talk about, like I said, there was rumours, like I said, we got Tamara Warney. He didn't start. What was your opinion on Sam Sturridge?
Storage.
Big Sam.
Sorry. Yeah, Big Sam. I thought he played all right. You know what I mean? He's like we said earlier, they didn't really get much from the midfield, because obviously for me Newcastle was just literally every time Forest got the ball, there was at least two Newcastle players on them, and I'm like, what the hell? Do you know what I mean? So it was like we were panicking to just turn around and quick get it away, and then as soon as it got into another, two got back on him. Do you know what I mean? So I think Sam's just coming back from injury, isn't he? And obviously Cooper sees something in him, so we trust him. But you know what I mean? We can't judge him.
Would you play against West Ham?
Who, Surridge?
Yeah.
Surridge?
Yeah. People in the comments, would you start?
I would.
I
would, because he didn't really light up the football pitch. None of them really did. But Tawawi, when he came on, he didn't really light up the football pitch. So it's either or, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You've got Tawawi, who's got a £17.5 million price tag on his head. Do you know what I mean? So you expect him to start. I was quite shocked he didn't start, but you expect him to start because we bought him for the goals. Do you know what I mean? And his sheer size, because I've seen him. I've walked past him in the street, and he's mountain. He's absolute massive. So, do you know what I mean? It's hard to say. Would you go Surridge? Would you go Tawawi? Do you know what I mean? But the thing is with him is, me personally, I would play him. I like Sam. I think he's good, but you've got to play Tawawi. He's got, because of his price tag. Do you know what I mean? You don't spend 17.5 million on a player for him to sit on the bench.
100%. There's 239 people in. Thank you everyone for taking part. That's amazing. Thank you everyone for taking part for this. Like, this is the first review show. If you are new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button as well, people. And as well, make sure everyone subscribes to Do Daily. His link is in the description as well. So everyone, please do subscribe to Do Daily. As well, people get your thoughts in as well. And I've got 2 super chats. And if you do want to do a super chat, people, support my channel, please do. Right, I've got 2 super chats. This is from Claire. Thank you for the £4.49. Door, is there any rumors for incomings? We'll talk that later. We'll talk that later, Claire, because that's a massive topic. I think the comments will go mad when we do talk about it. So thank you for the £4.49. And I saw yesterday, Claire, so good to see you as well. My man again, this guy's a legend. Special. Thank you again for the £4.49. Hi guys, great to see you in the Premier League. We made 2 mistakes and got punished. One was for Golden Move contender. We'll get there. Come on, you Reds. Thank you for the £4.49. Let me talk about the goalkeeper. And people in the comments as well, get involved, man. I want everyone to get involved. I know there's comments flying, so I do apologize if I'm not going through the comments because they are flying away. We talk about Dean Henderson, and as well, I thought he played well, Des. Yeah, and he did play well.
He kept us in it.
He kept us in it. And like I said, this is no disrespect to Sam, but Sam, like I said, he was great for the season. But let me be right. People in the comments, get involved, right? And I want to get everyone's opinion on this. And I'm going to ask you first, Des. If Sam was in goal yesterday, do you really think Forest would have got battered more?
Yes. And I'm a massive fan of Sam, but I was, and I didn't think it was an area we needed to strengthen like too much. When we were looking at potentially 2 or 3 signings, I thought, we'll stick with Samba then and we'll give him a go. Wow, how much we've needed to come on since Samba, because Henderson did do really well. And like I say, on Match of the Day, they gave him a bit of flack about that goal. Guy Mowbray, I think, was the commentator.
Can't say that.
No chance anybody is saving that.
Nope.
I don't care. They can say he got beat on his near post. Not a chance. What he did do in the first half, shots from range looked comfortable. Shots that he had to parry away, he pushed them away really well. He just did the basics, didn't he? He did what you'd expect of a top goalkeeper. The goalkeeper we saw at Sheffield United playing a similar role, because it looks like we're going to have a few shots against us this season. And he did all those things. There was one in the first half where someone went down. I think it was Willock went down in the, not down, but he ran into the 6-yard box and cut it back, and he kind of just did enough to get it around the post. I thought little things like that, rather than getting carried away with yourself, was so important. I thought Henderson was massive yesterday. I thought it was one of the reasons we was 0-0 at half time. Only 2-0 overall. He didn't make a world class save, but he did enough, and he looked comfortable. One thing I was pleased to see is because we all raved about Samba at the end of last season, he looked comfortable on the ball. There was a couple of coy turns, as goalkeepers tend to do these days.
The first off, it was the first off, wasn't it? Yeah.
But again, that in many ways that just relieved the pressure a little bit. Because they pressed and they pressed and they pressed, but that just relieved the pressure, and he got the ball out. Whether the players he played the ball out to, he did the right thing and made the right choice, that's another thing. But I just thought it was solid. It was a solid 7. If you get beat 2-0 and you get a 7, again, it's not about individual performances, but he did really well. He looked like somebody who had played in the Premier League before. And yesterday, there was too many who didn't look like that. Not through their own fault. We are where we are, but it looked like he'd been there before. He did a good job. And I think to some degree, he kept us in it by being that experienced head at the back.
100%. Before we listen to people in comments, getting forward, if there's any topics that you want to talk about, please put in comments. So there's Stephen Dillon, we can answer him. Steve, like I said, what we learned from yesterday, like from your opinion, like I said, Newcastle were a great side. But what do you, as a Forest fan, what do you think Forest learned yesterday from yesterday's game?
Well, from what I've seen, in general, the overall thing,
in general, yeah.
It's just I thought we were a bit naive. I know we put a couple of challenges. I know I mentioned the yellow cards we picked up, but I just felt, again, was it that we showed him too much respect? And like I said, that starstruck, looking around the stadium, whoa, that kind of feeling. Because like Des just touched on, bar Henderson and Lingard, we haven't got that many other Premiership proven players who've been there and done it. I just felt we could have just got in their faces a bit more. Maybe I know, goes back to that cliche, the players don't play. We should, Ryan Yates. Perhaps we missed him.
I think we missed him. Missed him.
Like, we're all praising this Bruno guy, but did anyone put him up in the air? Did anyone get really stuck into him and disturb him?
I think Jack Colback did it, Des.
He tried. And Colback players, you can't get near them. They find the space. They find their space on it. Like Des said about the massive pitch. They find the space. They find them little pockets of, and pick them up and just, spray the ball around. But yeah, maybe we're missing like a Ryan Yates just to get in his face. But I was surprised how aggressive Newcastle were. I'm going to be honest. They really shocked me how high intensity. I've seen a lot online, Newcastle fans saying they've never seen this team so fit. Eddie Howe was really stamped his authority on that team. From his Bournemouth. You remember how fit his teams were at Bournemouth. But yeah, what I would say, it took a worldie to get through us. I'm not clutching at straws, but do you know what? Just before then, they had that chance. McKenna and Henderson made the block.
Yeah.
I was thinking to my dad watching the game, do you know what? It was a good 25 minutes left. I think if we had held out, we could have got a 0-0 because Henderson was comfortable. It just took an absolute worldie to break us down, and then that class finish from Wilson. But I'd have rather just close him down, rely on long shot, blaze over the bar, but no one closed him down. Next thing, bang. Henderson's never saving that in a million years. Inside the post as well. He's not getting across to there. Whoever says he should be saving that, I haven't got a clue. But yeah, it's just, I think I just wish we had just showed a bit more, less naivety and just got in their faces a bit more, but
Dylan, as I said, another player that come on, made his debut, Mangala. He come on for Brian. What was your opinion on when he come on? Because from my opinion, and I'll talk this later on as well, and I know he wasn't great midfield, but when Mangala come on, I thought he did good, to be fair. He was more faster than O'Brien. Well, what was your opinion, Dylan, when he come on?
Yeah, I thought he did all right. He didn't like... He's probably better than O'Brien because of his where he played and that. You know what I mean? We're kind of forgetting O'Brien and Toffolo still were championship players as a couple of weeks ago. Do you know what I mean? So they're just still getting up to the pace, as well as the likes of McKenna, Worrell, Johnson, people like that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he looks decent, but I think we'll be probably more to tell if he starts the game and see how he works in midfield with whoever he's partnered with. Do you know what I mean? Is he going to be partnered with Colback, or is he going to be partnered with Brian? Are they going to, what kind of relate? Do you know what I mean? So, but you would be able to tell more. But when I watched it on TV yesterday, and the camera just the camera panned around the stadium, and you just see Forest up in the top, but the whole lot was black and white, and I was like, what the hell? Do you know what I mean? They literally would just help Newcastle to another level. Do you know what I mean? You know how the City ground gets. Do you know what I mean? But you and Des will be able to tell us what it was like, because obviously you was above.
Right. Let me get right. I don't want to I've always rated Newcastle fans. I've always rated them because I noticed if Newcastle fans watching, I love you to bits. I think when me and Des went there, they gave us a warm welcome, saying that welcome back to the Premier League, you deserve it. It was honestly, I love Newcastle fans for saying that. But I don't know. I'll have to ask Des. I didn't really hear it that much. It was strange. Like away from home, consistent singing Newcastle fans. Consistent. First game of the season, I didn't really hear him. I know we was in the nosebleeds. I didn't really hear him. Did you hear him, Des, as much?
I've got a theory about this, Dore. Do you know, there was 52,000 Geordies. Do you know, I think I spoke to about 52,000 walking from the quayside up to the ground saying good luck, you know, wishing as well. They were brilliant in that sense. Lots of guys. I am a Forest shirt on doing the things I do. Yeah. I thought it was brilliant the way they welcomed us. But the atmosphere, do you know, I've just got a theory that it gets lost in some of these big stadiums.
Yes.
I've been to watch England at Wembley, at Old Trafford, and there's little pockets singing over there, and there's little pockets there, and there's little pockets there, and nobody ever sings in tandem. If you remember back to the playoff game when everyone was singing Forest the Magic, which almost drove us through in the second half, you know, the atmosphere in that second half when we was under the cosh was absolutely amazing. But I just think something kind of gets lost a little bit, doesn't it? We was up in the gods. Their fans to the side of us, you know, they was giving us some flack. We was giving them some flack, as you'd expect. But around the ground, don't get me wrong, when the goal went in, the noise was
mad. It was mad. It was mad.
What? That's not Barnsley away on a Tuesday night. The noise was absolutely deafening.
Yes, it was.
There's just something about these big stadiums that it doesn't really loan itself to these big attendances, you know, singing here and there.
Old Trafford's a perfect example, Des. Apparently Old Trafford's terrible atmosphere.
Right. Don't mention Old Trafford.
Lines. Nobody's singing. If you've got the whole stadium.
Anfield's the same, apparently.
Well, there you go. And it's because I think, from what I've seen, obviously,
Chelsea.
The City ground last year, we had the most amazing atmosphere because when everybody sings Muller Kintyre, everybody sings Muller Kintyre. I went to West Ham. I don't know if you recall, Dore. When I went to West Ham, I mentioned I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles. It was shocking compared to Muller Kintyre because, again, you had pockets of people. And when we're in the City ground, in the old two-tier stadiums, you know, noise ringing around it, it sounds amazing. You go to places like this, we was all singing after 60 minutes, Where's Your Famous Atmosphere? You know, because we didn't rate it. But don't get me wrong, it's a noisy, lively football stadium. I'm just hoping, because all the commentators said, what an atmosphere. I'm hoping it's not like that. When they get to the City ground, no wonder they take notice of what we did last year.
Exactly. Like I said, I rate Newcastle fans highly. Like I said, when they're away from home, they sing constantly. And
I'll just say, Dor, when they get to the City Ground, they will be amazing. They will be phenomenal. I went to a League Cup game. We played Newcastle. There were 12,000 in the ground. There was certain sections open, and Newcastle probably had 6,000. We were that bad at that point.
It was mad.
It was one of the best atmospheres at the City Ground I've ever been to, for banter, for back to front kind of thing. When they get to the City Ground, they will be out of this world because they're one of those clubs that are well supported. It's just those big stadiums for me just don't quite do it.
100%. There's 262 people here. Thank you everyone for taking the time and watching. Everyone, if you are new to our channel, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to reach a 10k before the end of the year. Hit the like button as well. I'm on 50 likes. It's two people. Get me to 100 likes, people. We still haven't finished. We're still on 41 minutes. We've still got a few things to talk about. Right, people.
Can I just make a point on what Dylan said about Mangala?
Yeah.
The reason Mangala I felt played okay was because he made the right choice. He played the ball. He didn't do anything uncomplicated. If he got the ball in midfield, he took the ball from the defence, and if he needed to play it back to Worrell or Nicarte or whoever was on the pitch at that point, he played the ball back. And
that's what we need the rest of them to do. Because I don't know if anyone watched the Man City game earlier, I know they're above the rest of us and everything like that. But I was just watched the way they play and the passing. They just make it so simple. Pass. Yeah, and then if they can't get through anywhere, they bring it back. And I think we played it like a bit like that last season. And I was just and they frustrated West Ham because West Ham couldn't get on the ball. And I'm just looking and I'm thinking, can we just keep the ball for a second?
But that's what Mangala did when he came on. Yeah. So if he had a simple pass into Lingard or Toffolo or wherever he needed to go, he played that pass. And that was the difference. You know, O'Brien, the positions he took up, the way he battled, can't fault it one bit. That final ball away, you know, that's what kind of let him down a little bit. So I think in Mangala already, just being someone who watches football, can't make your mind up over 25 minutes or however long you played. It's just somebody who you think, that guy plays the game. Look at Kante. When he came in, he just plays it sideways. He plays it forward. He runs on. He makes a triangle. It's simple, isn't it? It's simple. And it's that experience and that now is just to take it forward.
Maybe the reason like O'Brien was a bit he wasn't awful and he wasn't spectacular, but maybe them bad choices probably were the whole occasion playing in the Premier League.
He made one good pass though. I think it was the first one.
Don't get me wrong, Dor. The guy wasn't bad. He wasn't terrible because, like I say, he got himself in positions to win the ball back. He got his body shape right. He beat people. He'd gone away. It was just that final ball, you know. And again, he perhaps wanted a second on the ball. You know, we're in the Championship. He'd got 5 seconds on the ball.
Well, that's what the commentator said on Match of the Day. He says with the way Forest played last season, and they're trying to play it this way this year in the Premiership, you ain't got the time to do that. You've got to sharpen up a bit more.
But what it is just the confidence to zip it around. Yeah. You know, zip it into Lingard's feet. Lingard's a quality player. He can hold it up. Last season, I don't know, Zinkernagel might have gone into his feet and he might have bounced back. I'm being harsh maybe. But that's the level, isn't it? So I played in teams where you go and give it to my feet, and because people don't trust you because they're not good enough, they won't play it into your feet. But Liam O'Brien, he got in some great position to play that ball forward, and with a bit of confidence, with a bit more sort of pace about our game, not the game in general, he'd have zipped it into Lingard. Lingard might have then done a turn, or he might have played it out wide, and he might have gone. Do you see what I mean? And it's just almost adapting to the pace. And hopefully, this is just we've come up against a really, really good midfield and a really good team in a big stadium on the first day. We thought it was a good fixture, didn't we?
Yeah.
But I'm not quite sure it was anymore. Well, we know it wasn't. We thought Newcastle, they're a bit fragile at the best of times, but perhaps we could have done with a team, you know, who aren't in this ascendancy, and it could boil down to that. But I just think with the decision making, and like I said, I don't want to be hard on O'Brien because he looked good. It was just that sort of zipping about, being confident of being a Premier League team, which I think is the difference.
Maybe it come at the right time. This first game is better to come now than probably come 3-4 games down the line. Do you know what I mean? We're now everyone's sitting there going, all right, well, we didn't expect it. We expected it fast, but wow, that's, do you know what I mean? We, like we said earlier, we expect them to be a mid-table team, but do you know what I mean? So now maybe they've gone back to the training ground and gone, right, we've got to be quicker. You've got to get that ball, like you said, Des, get the ball into your feet and zip it straight out. You know what I mean? You pass that ball to Lingard, he knows exactly what he's going to do. But we've just got to make sure the players around Lingard to be able to get that ball to his feet, but the players around him thinking the same thing to make that space. Right, quickly get it to Lingard, bang, straight to him. Right, Lingard's off, bang, he's straight. Do you know what I mean? It's just them kind of decisions we've got to make.
Yeah. Sorry, Ben.
Go on.
Lewis O'Brien. I don't know if you guys picked it up in the stadium. The only vulnerability Newcastle showed pretty much the whole game was there was an instant in the second half where we were attacking the goal to the right. Yeah. There was absolute acres of space. And on the TV, it was literally only O'Brien on the screen. Dills, I don't know if you remember seeing that bit. And I was like, he turned and he had so much space in front of him, the whole pitch just opened up. I thought you frozen. But
no.
Oh, I thought you were frozen.
No.
But yeah, it's just like Des was touching on that. You know, this decision making was just quite not there. He had loads of room, and he just didn't find that final pass. There's the only time Newcastle showed any space or give any space to us. That was. But one thing I would say quickly about the speed, I was saying this to my dad, is the difference between the Championship and the Premier League is the speed from the back to front. One pass, Bruno from his own box, one pass dissected us right to the centre forward. Took us out, completely cleaned us out of the game. Just one pass. And that's the quality of the Premiership.
100%. People comment, like I said, we round up about this game, and then we've got other things to talk about because we're nearly on 15 minutes. I can't believe this. I'm gonna get everyone's ratings on how the game was. Before I do, Des, Stephen, can get your ratings with it. I've got the man himself, Kevin Campbell, watching this. How you doing, Mr. Kev? Hi, Mr. Des, Stephen Dillon, and Forest fans. You have to allow to adjust and not turn the ball out cheaply. Forest we find wants to adjust to a different of quality, 100%, 1,000%, Kev. Like I said, it's watching that game yesterday. Shout out to Kev as well, and you'll be back soon, Kev. Or the quality, just watching it, like being there, it's just like we've not even mentioned St. Maximin. Like he gave Joe Worrell some. He gave some crackers like to him, but
he did though. But you know the one thing for all Newcastle's quality, you know, and I'm hoping they finish in the top 7 or 8 because that says that we've come up against a really good side, and when we play other teams, it's not going to be quite so bad. But the one thing about Newcastle, I thought they gave the ball away far too much as well. You know, that first half, they got into they pressed hard, they won the ball back, we gave them the ball back. You know, that team coming out of the Championship. But I thought Newcastle gave the ball away, particularly St. Maximin. You know, he is what he is. He's a flair player. He's somebody who likes to run at people. But his final product, that's why he's not playing at Man United or Liverpool or Man City. Because if he had that final ball, he'd be playing for them.
He's a bit like Traore, isn't he, for Wolves?
Yeah.
No end product, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely brilliant, up and down, beats a man, but that final ball.
Yeah. Right, people, get your ratings in. People in the comments, what is your ratings? Because like I said, we're talking long. So, out of 10 people, what is your ratings? I'll say me first. It was a difficult game, really difficult. So I'll give mine I'll give mine a 6. I'll say mine a 6. It was a tough game, really tough. But me personally, I'll say 6. Dylan, what was yours?
5. I'm going halfway.
You're halfway. Okay.
Halfway. Tough game. Premier League, innit?
Yeah. Stephen?
5. Yeah.
Pretty
Second
easy
half
enough.
was slightly better, but 5.
Yeah. Last but not least, Des?
Coming out the game door, I just said 5. I was worried. I was worried for sort of 20 minutes until I soaked it all in. But I don't know. I think 6. There's going to be games like that, isn't there? And Newcastle are going to play like that against, I don't know, a West Ham, a Liverpool, someone who's established. So I think for me, it is what it is at the end of the day. It's a tough league.
Yeah, it's a really tough league.
So,
sorry, Des, let me just pick up your point quick. I was talking to my old man about this yesterday. The thing is, though, when Newcastle go up against Man City, Liverpool's, and this teams who dictate the ball, Newcastle have to adapt their game then to a different style. Because yesterday, I don't think their fans probably couldn't believe how much ball they had. Now, when they come up against Man Cities and all that, they're going to have to adapt then, play that counter-attack with St. Maximin on the break. So yesterday, they're going to have to juggle it up. With us, we'll have to be kind of consistent. With a team like Newcastle, we'll have to juggle around how they play because they won't have that much ball against Man City or Liverpool.
There's more than one way to win a football match, isn't there? And if by any chance Jesse Lingard sticks that one away before half time.
And do you know what, right? The kind of fans Newcastle fans are, if he hadn't scored that worldie, say it was about 15 minutes to go, still 0-0, their fans would have started getting nervous then because we could have had a corner and got some lucky goal, and that's the way football goes. They were bashing on the door, they just couldn't break us down. It just took a worldie to break us down.
100%.
And I tell you what, Steve, if that worldie doesn't break us down, Callum Wilson doesn't try to do what he did.
Exactly.
Amazing finish, amazing goal, but he doesn't try that.
How many times does that kind of goal go? Not the worldie, but the Callum Wilson with the flick of the foot. How many times does that really go in? Do you know what I mean?
I remember Nico Williams getting the ball away as well.
It all boils down to the fact that we made a catalogue of errors for each goal.
Yeah.
You cut those out, and you're sitting on a 0-0.
And what do they say in every cliche? If you do that in the Premier League, you get punished.
Yeah,
exactly.
You get away with it in the Championship. You can't in the Premier League.
Right, people. There's 259 people in. Thank you, everyone, for taking time. Like I said, we're on the 53-minute mark as well, people. Make sure you subscribe to me. Just click the subscribe button. Make sure everyone subscribes to Mr. Do Daily. His link is in the description, people. Make sure everyone subscribes to both of us. Right. Today, let's forget about yesterday's game. There's been so much noise today.
The last couple of hours.
Right, so the biggest discussion, people. Morgan Gibbs-White. And this is going to be... Everyone has an opinion, and people get in the comments. How are you feeling about it? Because now it's gone to 40 million. And I'm like, okay, 40 million. So people, how are you feeling? I will get the comments, but let me get to Dylan first.
Des looks like he's itching.
Because if I go to Des will be here for 1 hour, and Des can wrap it on. Dylan.
Yeah.
Morgan Gibbs-White, 40 million, yes or no?
No, personally, no, but he's a good player and he's English. But bloody hell, if they're going to go to 40 million, they must want him. There's something along. It's either got to be a deal breaker for Cooper to sign his new contract. It must be. I'm not signing that until you get him. All right, and we'll get. But 40 million quid. Do you know what I mean? I hope this guy. And I feel sorry if he does come for that price. I feel sorry for Gibbs-White because no one's going to be looking at Lingard anymore. Lingard could fade away, not fade away, but he can just get on with his business. Everybody's going to be watching Gibbs-White. One bad pass, One,
Everyone's going to destroy him.
They're just going to. I don't think they'll destroy him, but he's. Do you know what I mean? It'd be flattering to get the 40 million. Think, oh yeah, I'm worth 40 million. But do you know what I mean? You come out to that City ground full packed. Do you know what I mean? You make that first touch and you mistouch it. You're thinking, oh shit. Do you know what I mean? And the fans. Do you know what I mean? But me personally, 40 million's too high. Do you know what I mean? If he's worth 40 million, Brennan must be worth 60.
People in the comments, do you agree with Dylan? I'm going to get to Stephen next. 40 million. 40.
Newcastle paid 35 million for Bruno.
The problem is, like I said, is an English under 21 player. I know he played under Cooper. But 40 million.
Sorry, but does he like produce rainbows?
Steve, I don't know. Steve, what's your opinion? Before I get to him, what's your opinion? People in the comments, get involved. Get involved, people. Get involved. 40 million.
I think what we got to remember as Forest fans are, we've been obviously stuck in the Championship for so many years. This kind of money is crazy money to us, yeah? But we are living in a different universe now, and I think we may have to just get used to, as Forest fans, seeing these values thrown about. If we rate the player or not, if Cooper wants him, and I've said from day one, they got a great relationship apparently, him and Cooper and Gibbs-White. I heard that Gibbs-White, his attitude wasn't great down Swansea when he was here, but he didn't get on with the owners, which I've heard, but he got on great with Cooper. So from day one, that's been Cooper's number one target. If Cooper wants him, who are we to judge? It's like Dylan was saying, it's a massive price tag on his head. It's not his fault, but it's a massive price tag. It goes back to when Carvalho came, and Carvalho was worth 13, 14 million. And look what we did to him.
Steve, don't mess Carvalho, because the Carvalho fans will be like, Carvalho, this is great.
No, I'm just saying an example. It's not their fault, the price tag. But then if he came for 40 million, pulls up trees, gets us mid-table.
He's got to pull up a Forest, mate, for me.
Yeah, literally.
And I mean, the Trent.
Yeah.
And the City. He's got to do a lot of that.
If he does it, then at the end of the season, we say it's 40 million well spent, because we are living in the Premier League now where this money gets thrown about. If we agree with it or not. If you want to stay up with the big boys, unfortunately, you have to spend, like I said, Newcastle spent 35 on Bruno. So Gibbs-White is £5 million worth more than him. And we've seen how good he was yesterday. So it's a big price tag on Gibbs-White. It's not his fault, but if he was to come, me personally, I think it's a bit too much. I would have paid 25 for him, where I've seen people online saying we could get Gallagher and Dennis for less together.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
It might still go for him.
Well, we signed him Moreno for 9 million.
Oh, but that's another player that we can talk about. People that see, we're nearly on the hour mark. We still haven't gone half.
By the 1st of September, Forest will be touching 200 million.
Oh, for freaks!
I'm putting that out now.
Well, Gibbs-White, he's a good player. We know he's a good player in him. People say he hasn't really hit it in the Premier League because he hasn't had the chance. He ripped us apart last year in the playoffs. We know what he can bring, but again, that goes back to the Championship environment.
This is a problem. You know, every time we play against Forest, he plays well. Yeah. Like he played against Wolves against us in the League Cup. He scored after 2 minutes. He scored against us against United. He always scores past Forest.
Have you heard about online? Apparently, that Wolves fans be giving him jip.
Apparently
his girlfriend for happy and
ridiculous. I saw. She liked to comment. She liked to comment.
If Cooper loves him and he loves playing on a Cooper, he's going to play his best, then, and he's not just coming for the money, you know. But again, it's not his fault. Wolves have put 40 million pounds in him.
Exactly. Right, before I get Des' opinion, because I know Des will be here for 1 hour. I got a super chat on this here. Thank you for the £4.49. Do you realise that the 40 million will be add-ons and not straight on? Kieran, how do you know?
I had to look at that twice then. I thought he'd give you 40 million super chat then. I was like, whoa.
If you want to give me a 40 million pound super chat, people, you can. Help me out.
Help us all out.
Help us all out. From this one, Dave, go elsewhere. Stop indulging walls yourself. Yeah, bloody hell. Dave, Dave, you know that I can't say these words. Self-absorption? What? I can't say these words. the man says, Kevin Campbell says, 25 marks. He's never done it in the Premier League. Wolves are trying it on. They are. Like Stephen said, we're in the Premier League. We're in the Premier League, but 40 million for me is a lot. But if Gibbs-White keeps us in the Premier League, I'd be happy as Larry. That's all it matters. I remember as well when we looked for Forest, and I remember when Forest fans were saying 20 million for Gibbs-White was too much. I was saying 20 million, but now an extra 20 million, bloody hell. Our owners is not messing around. He's not messing around, and this is when it comes to teams. Do not mess with Marinakis. Look at what he's done to Huddersfield. He's absolutely hammered them. So now, Wolves, you're next. There's.
Let's hear this.
Let's get ready. People, get your popcorn ready. Here's Des Oldham on his opinion. Morgan Gibbs-White.
Do you know what? I've sat there listening to it. I've read the comments. £40 million is a lot of money. It's beyond belief for us. You know, we were talking 13, 15, 17. It was all beyond us. But I tell anybody who forget the figure for 1 second. Anybody who wants to look at Morgan Gibbs-White, just watch Match of the Day yesterday. Just watch Match of the Day. It's a shortened highlight reel, but it's going to have Wolves' best chances in. Morgan Gibbs-White was at the centre of everything. Absolutely everything. And when I watched it, I thought, they're never going to let him leave now. They are never, ever going to let him leave. Morgan Gibbs-White is an absolutely fantastic footballer. Yes, 40 million, it's out there. It's bonkers. It's absolutely like... And people are saying, Giménez cost 35 million. That doesn't really matter, does it? We're talking about a different market. You're talking about a young English talent. That guy's going to play for England, and he's going to play in major tournaments. So if Steve Cooper believes in him, you know, whatever. I've said before, the figure's irrelevant, isn't it? Dylan mentioned before, 200 million quid we're going to spend by the end of this window. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. We
still need strikers.
We still need strikers. And what did I say to you right at the start of the episode? 3 players with Premiership experience stood out. Steve Cooper's been saying to us for weeks and weeks and weeks, he needs more players. He needs better players. You know, 17 million, right, from what we've seen so far, isn't cutting the mustard. You know, it's not good enough. It's not enough. So, yes, this guy started out at 20, 15, 20, 25. Every day he goes up 5 million quid. But if the club want him, you know, and he's going to make that much of a difference, because, like I say, I only see the short highlight reel, and I've seen a lot more. He's always been my target from day one. He's always been the guy that I wanted, that I said I'd love Cooper to go out for, and now we're led to believe he was Cooper's target as well. Because it doesn't matter where someone plays. It doesn't matter if they play Sheffield United or Man United. If they're a good footballer and you can spot it, you know, they're a good footballer. That guy will make a difference in this team. Let's make no bones about it. That guy is making an absolute difference. So if Cooper thinks he's worth 40 million, you know, staggering. I'm not going to say he's worth 40. I'm not going to say he's worth 20. But if Cooper believes he's worth signing, and Marinakis, I'm sure when Marinakis gets in on the deal, he wants that done. You know, I'm sure
he's not messing around. Marinakis, he's not messing. Sorry, Des, before I think I saw on, I don't know what paper it was. I think it was the Guardian. Is getting involved.
Yeah,
and he wants this deal, and now 40. Spend him.
Yesterday at Leeds, they didn't have the best game, but he was involved in everything. You know, and his attitude wasn't wrong. He celebrated the goal. There's a comment there saying Des wants him bad. Absolutely, I want him bad. I really want him bad because he's so good on a football pitch. and that's what
He is
matters.
good. No, he is good.
That's what matters. Somebody to make a difference. I'm not being nasty to anybody we've got in any position, but I look around the team. I think we haven't got a better player than Morgan Gibbs-White. I don't care who's played in the Premier League and who hasn't. We haven't got a better player than Morgan Gibbs-White. So whilst it's a massive fee, whilst it's out there and it's eye-watering, why wouldn't we be smashing our record? But why wouldn't we be smashing a record for someone like that? Do you know, it happens, doesn't it? Yeah. And the problem is that, just sort of retracting everything a little bit, he's an English player, isn't he? If he come from abroad, he'd be worth 20 million. But he's coming from Wolves, who don't want to sell. They're going to go out and sign someone else, it looks like, and the deal might actually happen. I just think he makes our team so much better. And if it costs 40 million to keep us in the Premier League, go out and sign him.
Well, I heard something today that Cooper's wanted him from the start, and he wants to build the team around him. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He wants to use him as the focal point and everything else. But obviously, we sign him. Where do you put Jesse?
That's the thing.
This is what you need to realise. Jesse for West Ham came in off the left-hand side.
Yeah.
You know, much where we had Keenan in, like, earlier last year, a player coming in off the left, like Brennan comes in off the right, and then you might have your focal point. So Jesse's great, but is he actually that number 10? Or is he more of a striker? And I think people seem to look beyond that. You just imagine this guy running from midfield, scoring goals, but he did actually come in off that left-hand side for West Ham. Amazing at it, absolutely amazing. So again, you've got that focal point there. You've got Jesse off there, Brennan off there. Wow,
that's probably what he's looking at. That's probably what Cooper's looked at all along, thinking if I get Gibbs-White in the middle, I've got Jesse on the left, I've got Brennan on the right, someone in the middle. Do you know what I mean? Whoever that's going to be. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's the plan.
Forget the figure again. What a statement if a guy like that wants to leave an established Premier League team and come to Forest. I know. Because again, walking away from the game yesterday, I was a bit like, oh shit, we're not going to sign anyone. We're a little bit fragile. Who's going to want to come? Because that don't say very much. Thankfully, after the reports, the pundits said we didn't do too bad. So they must know something. They watch it week in, week out. You know, and that can happen. You're not going to have many touches of the ball away from home. But getting someone like that, the ball will stick, you know, because that's where we really sort of lacked yesterday. Brennan, unfairly, in my belief, took a bit of stick for not holding the ball up. It's not his game, is it? His game's getting in behind. But he took some stick for not holding the ball up. And I think you get it up to someone like a Gibbs-White, shoulders are out, muscles are out. Do you know what I mean? I said there was I think he headed it down for Wolves' goal, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Right amongst it, but there was 2 or 3 other situations like that, and that can be the difference. Do you know when people say, "Oh, you'll only get 1 good game in 5 from a player"? Do you know in the Premier League that's why people spend 50 million quid for 1 good game in 5? Because players, apart from the Haalands and the Kanes and people like that, which cost you 200 million quid. Haaland cost 52 because of a clause in his contract. But apart from those players, you know, if you're paying 50 million quid, you're paying for someone who's going to win you 5-6 games a season. But those 5-6 games a season are going to keep you in the Premier League.
Well, look at. Sorry, Des. No, we was just on about Newcastle and buying Bruno in January.
Mm.
Yeah. Look at the difference he made. Soon as they signed him in January, 35 million. Even my Newcastle friend was like, I don't know about him. Bang.
And that's what I'm saying, Deals. They spent 35 million quid on a player none of us had ever heard of.
Yeah.
You know, at least with Gibbs-White, we've seen something. You know, we've seen how he grabs a football match, how he gets into positions. You know, he goes into positions. He drops deep. He gets the ball down. He nods one down. Does something a bit different to anybody else on the football pitch.
That playoff game, that second leg showed me how he just run us ragged, didn't he? He just run that line so well. He just didn't stop.
Take a penalty.
Yeah,
and this is
he just didn't stop running.
This is where I go back to the Sander Berg thing. You know, yes, we've never really been linked with him, but I've mentioned how much of a beast of a player because he's an athlete, and I think that's what Morgan Gibbs-White is compared to some of the other things we've got. He offers a bit of different dimensions, different part aspects to his game. Whereas you've got like a Brennan Johnson, who's brilliant, getting down that line, getting the ball in, getting behind defenders, but he ain't going to hold the ball up. He ain't going to bring other people into play because that's not his game. You know, you've got Surridge who's going to run around, make things busy. But again, stick the ball on his head, give him a chance, he's going to score. He ain't going to make his own chances, is it? And I think this guy can do a little bit of everything somewhere. There you go.
I told you this is why I get Daz last because when I mentioned Morgan Gibbs-White, he's just there. So, people, that's their opinion on Morgan Gibbs-White. What's everyone's opinion on Morgan Gibbs-White? I think we're not going to say whatever the hell, Mark. Bloody hell. This has been long, people. If you can, do me a massive favour. Hit the like button if you can. Subscribe to me if you can. I'm on. The target is trying to get to 10k before the end of the year. So if you can, subscribe to me. Subscribe to Bell End, please, if you can. There's links in the description. Make sure everyone does. We'll talk about. I think there's two more subjects I want to talk about. And if it's in the Newcastle fans, I don't know. We'll talk about the left back. Is it Marino, the left back? And I've seen that. I think it came from John Percy. 9 million, I think it was. Let me get your opinion, Dylan, on it. Like I said, we've got. We keep forgetting we've got Emil Richards as a left back. We know Toffolo. It's his first time in the Premier League, and we can't give him much stick. But we do we need a left back, Dylan? People in the comments, do we need a left back? Another left back. What? I know we've got 9 subs. We can use 9 subs, but what's your opinion as well? And people in the comments, get involved. What's your opinion? Dylan, what's yours?
Well, obviously we need him, and personally, either someone's looked at Toffolo and think, yeah, he'll do as a cover, but he's not what we need. Obviously, Richards has got a fracture that's appeared from somewhere, so that's like just makes you wonder what's going off in that position. Do you know what I mean? Is Richards going to come back? Is he coming back anytime soon? Do you know what I mean? Is he out for a lot longer than Cooper said? Cooper said, "Oh, it should be a month or so, not months." As he took a bad turn, as something else happened, he's going to be out till over Christmas. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, they want him, and 9 million quid. I don't know what he's like from the reels I've seen. Anyone looks good on YouTube, don't they? So, but
I don't know. 9 million for left back. I think he's 29 years old as well. And I don't know. What's your opinion, Steve?
Yeah, he can play left wing as well, though, can he?
Yeah, he can play left wing.
He looks quick, yeah. But again, I think Toffolo, he's had a bit of a... Again, that goes back to the thing earlier, who he's up against yesterday. You know, it is a step up. It is a level up, you know, and like Dylan just said, maybe looking at him as backup, but, you know, we just signed him from a championship club, you know. Toffolo's a good player, but is he at the level of what we need? Is Moreno going to go straight into the squad, into the first team, you know, on Sunday, if we sign him before Sunday?
Let's get it right. Just a quick one. Sorry, Stephen. Let's get it right. If Richards was fit and playing, he would be there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think that has really thrown them now, that airline fracture he's had of his leg or whatever. They haven't really been clear how long he's out for. And for me, that doesn't sound right. I don't know if it's longer than they make it out, or is it he could be back within the month. But yeah, he'd be definitely first choice. But yeah, they obviously clearly looking for backup there, and that's why they're going for this boy. Well, I'm saying boy. Is he 29? I thought he was younger than that.
I don't know. He's 29. He's 29 years old.
All right, I thought he was a bit younger than that. But
before, like I said, can I just stop there? I said, it's completely different. I just got a message from someone who watches my channel, and this guy called Aiden, and he just got in my inbox saying that he's feeling a bit depressed and all that. So people, if people don't know for him, if people can watch this, read this. This is he's put on social media. If everyone knows, you can get in contact with him if you can. So if you're watching me, please don't do anything stupid, please, because it's not nice to hear. Sorry, Steve, carry on.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just, again, it goes. We went so many years out of left back, and now we're all like, we're signing about 20. Yeah, it's I don't know, his position, which I'm hoping Richards comes back soon, because I've always rated Richards as a player when he played for Reading. So yeah, £9 million. Just hope he comes off. Really, we are linked with what's the other two players? Swedish.
It's one's here now.
Yeah,
Fenner should be here as well. That he's 29 as well. Experienced Switzerland as well. So it's gonna be. Well, what's date today? Is it the 7th?
I agree with Dylan. I think we're going to be pushing towards 150 million, 200 million. Because, well, if we send Gibbs-White, that's going to push us to 126 million, because we've already spent 86 million. So that's 126 there. Another 9 million. So you're talking 135 million there. And we still got 3.5 weeks left. We're going to be hitting close to 180 million. I think
at least one striker.
I think. I heard who was the guy from Chelsea? Hudson Doyle, is it? The winger?
Yeah, Hudson Doyle. Nah, he's a good player. I think he's a fantastic.
He would be only loan, no. Anyway, you wouldn't sign him on a permanent. But didn't he play under Cooper for England?
Yeah, he did. No, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
So I would take him.
Oh,
He's getting greedy now.
Listen, probably. How much money have we spent?
Like 86 million.
Can I say, though, do you know the left back one? There's obviously, and again, I don't want to sort of create any further debate, but there's obviously a problem at left back, isn't there? You know, whether it's the injury to Richards or the trust in Toffolo, if they're looking for more left backs, there's an issue. Something's not quite right there. You know, I don't want to sort of implicate anything or suggest anything, but the fact that they've signed 2 and they're still looking for another says there's something wrong, doesn't it? And that's just being realistic as a human being. You know, you spent a lot of money on 2 players and it's not quite the answer. So I think
he's not cheap.
And he's not cheap. And yes, I've been banging on about Morgan Gibbs-White. Let's just get something straight before we go any further. I never said I'd pay 40 million for Gibbs-White.
You liar! You said 40.
I never said that.
Why I think he's a great player. I didn't say it.
People, Des says 40 million. You pay. Stop lying to the public, Des. You're lying.
No, but my point on that is, you know, you'll spend what you have to spend, but with the left back, if they're looking to spend another 9 million or whatever million, there was someone linked for 30 million 2 weeks ago in that position. You know, if they're looking to spend that, something is not quite right, is it? Is Richards out for a very, very long time? You know, is Toffolo not deemed good enough? You know, something's not right. And that's all I can say. That's not me being a Forest fan favouriting one player over another. That's just a reality, because you wouldn't understand. The reason you sign 2 players in one position is to provide cover when one is injured. You know, you don't go and sign 3, 4 in each position because I thought you're going to get down the line. So I think there's a bit of an issue there. But again, without knowing too much about this player, it just seems again that Steve might feel he needs a better player, you know, and that's the important thing, isn't it? That this contract thing we all keep talking about, and players signed from certain places. I just hope that there's an agreement here that he gets what he wants. And that's why, again, without banging on about transfer fees, I think the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White, people he knows are really important in the grand scheme of things.
See, there's people in the comments saying you said any price. So don't lie to the public, Des. People in the comments, get Des. I'm not having this. I'm not having this. Right, I think time's ticking. Should we mention the Newcastle that Newcastle fellow, or you can talk about it tomorrow, Des? Because as you know, Des is having his own show Monday night at 9:00. So
you've been told.
Yeah, he's been told.
I've been told.
You've been told. We've been warning. So, if any Forest fan that has not been on the channel before, can you message me or you can message Des, who has not been on the special channel before, and have their opinion about? Could be Newcastle, could be anything. It's Des' show. Des' show.
I'm sure it's going to be the Morgan Gibbs-White show, to be honest.
I'm sure someone else is going to kick off in the next 24 hours.
Oh, no. So if there's anyone, people that wants to come on Des' show tomorrow, Des, what time you started? 8 or 9?
9:00. Dial in with Des. Is it
Dial
with
Des. So people, Des has got his own show tomorrow at 9:00. If you want to come on
every
channel.
Monday during the season.
I know there's quite a lot of people who know who you are. I will send you the link tomorrow. If you want to come on, who people hasn't come on, and members as well. If there's any members on my channel that pay the £2.99, please message me ASAP. Email me, Twitter, Instagram, message me, talk to Des, talk whatever you like to. Get on.
I tell you what, though, I want Super Kev on. He was questioning me earlier there. I want Super Kev on.
No, Kev's not coming on. No. Kev, if you're watching, you're not coming on. I've had enough of you because he was a good host. He was a good host on Thursday, Kev.
He's always
so. Yeah, he's not taking over my host show. But yeah, Stephen looks tired. You tired, Stephen?
If you want to see an exclusive with Morgan Gibbs-White, tune in tomorrow at 9:00.
Right,
because you'll be sat next to Des.
We'll have a scarf and I'll have my arm around him like this.
Oh, right, people want to get going.
There's a guy, Randall, when you used to have them photos with the new signings.
Yeah. Right, it's been a great show, people. Like I said, if you are new to a channel, please do hit the subscribe button. Like as well. Make sure everyone subscribes to Do Daily as well. His link is in the description. And yes, it's packed up. Look, where is there? Piping up as well. Another Kevin taking required. No, Kev, I've had enough. It was a good show.
Kev, dial in tomorrow.
He's not dialing in tomorrow. Kev's not dialing in tomorrow. I've had enough of him. Too much of Kevin. He'll be back. Kevin, he'll be back, Kevin. You just tell me when. But yeah, people, tomorrow, 9:00, Des has got his own show. And like I said, message me or Des if you want to come on.
Your new Monday night slot.
Dialing
with Des, 9:00.
Dialing with Des. Dylan, Stephen, thank you very much for everyone for coming on the show. Thank you for everyone that has took their time to watch us rabble on about Newcastle game. Morgan Gibbs-White. There's going to be more gossip. We know there's going to be some more gossip tomorrow morning. So, but yeah, people, thank you for everyone.
5 million tomorrow, Dor.
Oh, don't. You're trying to wind me up now, Des. Right,
I'm trying to wind these comments up.
Right, people, thank you everyone for coming on. It's bedtime. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and you'll see Mr. Do Daily tomorrow at 9:00. Peace and love. Up the Forest.